The man undressed his daughter, but seeing the sleeping face, he hesitated. Although his wife's soul lives inside, but the body is still his daughter's. He had no reason to take it and no right to violate it. He could only cover her with the blanket. He felt the embarrassment and loneliness, remembering the night of the accident. His wife and daughter were on their way home by car. The driver was tired and drove the car off the cliff accidentally. When he received the news and rushed to the hospital, mother and daughter were in critical condition. Hearing his wife's call for their daughter, David moved the two beds closer together with the help of a nurse, clasped their hands together. The moment he touched his daughter, his wife's life was coming to an end. Looking at his wife's death, David was heartbroken, not noticing his wife's wedding ring. A shimmer of light on a warmth flowed into his daughter's body. She had been unconscious, but miraculously woke up. Looking at the crying David and her dead mother, her mouth muttered, "Am I dead?" Hearing the movement, David turned around in a hurry. Excitedly, he called his daughter's name, but she told him she was his wife, not his daughter. Hearing this news, David could not believe his ears for a while, but in the rest of his life, the way his daughter watered the flowers, and the way she touched her chin to make herself shave, he had to accept. The daughter in front of him was his wife. To find out why, David read a lot of books, but could not find the answer. Only know that it is a kind of reincarnation phenomenon. It would take 2 years. Daughter's soul will come back again. David didn't know what the two were now, a bestial father and daughter or a strange couple, but life doesn't stop them. With the start of school, the wife could only experience her life as a daughter. To experience her life as a daughter, although she doesn't know her daughter's past, but with the excuse that she lost her memory in a car accident. But the reason is that she lost her memory in a car accident, which has allayed everyone's suspicions. And David, who was alone, soon had a love affair. The wife wanted to give herself to her husband, but the husband refused because her body belonged to her daughter. The wife was only temporarily living on loan. He did not have the right to do anything with this body. David did not dare and could not. He lay alone in the sun. His eyes were filled with tenderness. In a trance, he saw his wife tending the flowers again, the way she smiled and knitted her brows. David always believed that his love for his wife was selfless. Even though he was lonely, he never entered into a woman's place. But David was very popular with women. Within a few days, his daughter's teacher expressed her love to him, and his wife happened to see this scene, so she patted David on the head, while jealously said, "Someone really good with women." This made David feel so wronged. When he got home, he kept explaining, but his wife said that if you like it, go after it. After all, in the eyes of others, we are now father and daughter. It is never possible to be together. Hearing this, David spit out the food in his mouth, immediately swore that he would never change his mind. Faced with her husband's affection, the wife was as sweet as eating honey. But now the situation also makes her feel distressed. She then told David that she wanted to major in brain science in college to see if she could solve this problem. After hearing that, David also expressed his full support. Then she used her daughter's young body and her years of experience. She quickly got into the brain science university of her choice. The two of them could never have imagined. This was the beginning of the rift in their relationship. On the first day of school, the wife received an invitation from Bob, the president of the sailing club. Wife thought of studying and relaxing at the same time, so she agreed. However, as they spent time together, Bob fell in love with her. He wanted to ask her to go out with him, but his wife understood her status, politely refused to go out with her. However, Bob was persistent in pursuing her. He said he would drive her home. This scene happened to be seen by David, so he quietly eavesdropped outside while his wife was on the phone, and he was caught in the act. His wife said everyone needs a little space. I hope they can have a little trust between them. But David couldn't do that. He took advantage of his wife's absence. He quietly wired her room, but inadvertently, he heard that the president wanted to ask his wife to a coffee shop. David tried to stop it by all means, but his wife still slipped out quietly. 3:07. This woman is a man's daughter during the day, but at night, she is the man's wife. The two lived in a seemingly bestial relationship as father and daughter and husband and wife. However, one day David found his wife dating Bob. He immediately rushed out as a father to warn him to stay away from his daughter. David's sudden arrival makes his wife suspicious. She returned home to look for him. She found that David was using a wire to spy on her. This made the wife very angry. She didn't understand that she had gone to the other man just to break up with him. Why can't her husband trust himself? It was the first time they had an argument. They both thought they had done enough for the relationship. Why can't the other party understand themselves? In the end, the wife gave in first. She came to David's room. She asked him to choose between ethics and affection. David looked at his daughter's face for a long time. Finally, he chose to leave. He walked alone in the street. He thought of the words of Rabindranath Tagore, "If you love him, then give him freedom." David figured it out. When they met again, his mouth was already calling out his daughter's name. His wife seemed to have realized something. Tears flowed down her face. She tried to suppress her emotions. She ran back to the room quickly. David also seemed to be in a bad mood at the moment. Alone, drinking a glass of wine. After a hangover, David wanted to talk to his wife, only to find that his daughter's spirit had returned. Her memory was still stuck in the past 2 years. David suddenly remembered the book he had once read. There was a French girl who had smallpox. The soul suddenly disappeared. It also took 2 years to return. Faced with a puzzled daughter, David took out the photo, told her all the things that happened in the past 2 years. But after the daughter slept for a while, the wife regained control of the body. After that, their souls always switched back and forth. But as the daughter knew more and more things, the wife appeared less and less often, so she cherished the time she had with David even more. The two of them went to the beach where they had a date, eating ice cream and reminiscing about the past. In the sunset light, the wife also drifted off to sleep. A few years later, the daughter got married. David gave her to another man. Then he sat alone in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, feeling the sunset's afterglow. In David's opinion, this may be the best ending. The cruelty of life gave him no choice. He looked at the face of his wife's soul. He said congratulations, and then he alone withstood all the thoughts and sorrows.